In this episode, when I refer to duty to inform, I mean the legal requirement that a person, when they are contacted by law enforcement, to inform them that they are armed. Now, based on my research, currently 47 of 50 states have some form of duty to inform law. Most states have a requirement that you inform law enforcement if you have a firearm only if you are asked. However, 13 states require you to inform law enforcement of the presence of a firearm even before you're asked. Now, a duty to inform law is described by Concealed Nation as duty to inform laws are crucial regulations that concealed carriers must understand to ensure both their safety and compliance with local statutes during encounters with law enforcement. I'll talk about compliance with local statutes later, but there is some logic in helping to ensure safety for both you and for law enforcement. The Concealed Nations article goes on to say, the duty to inform law exists to maintain a clear line of communication between armed civilians and law enforcement officers. It aims to enhance officer safety. Knowing that an individual is armed allows officers to adjust their approach to ensure the safety and safety of others. Reduces misunderstandings. By disclosing the presence of a firearm, a concealed carrier can prevent a scenario where an officer might unexpectedly discover the firearm, potentially leading to defensive actions. And it fosters transparency. These laws encourage honesty and openness in interactions between armed citizens and police, fostering an environment of mutual respect and understanding. I do want to enhance safety, but not just for law enforcement. And I'll talk more about that later as well. Yes, the assumption is that all law enforcement is armed, so I can understand them wanting to know if they have a tactical advantage in such a situation or not. But if the idea that an armed citizen is a threat to officer safety, then an armed officer is a threat to citizen safety. After all, if a citizen draws a gun on law enforcement, it's a crime. But if an officer draws their gun on a civilian, it's their job. Yes, we should want to reduce misunderstandings, but that only works when both sides are open and transparent. Why should the presence of a firearm lead to defensive action only when in the possession of a civilian? Don't civilians have the same right to defend themselves as law enforcement? Do we not have a right protected by the Constitution of the United States to be armed? The constitutions of most of our states recognize that all power is inherent in the people. Shouldn't we be able to exercise that power without fear that a government actor has legal protections if they overreact to that fact? If states want to foster transparency, why do they allow their officers to lie to citizens, then claim it's a crime for citizens to lie to officers? That does not foster transparency, but suspicion.